Welcome to my world. This is Jeannie's world. Sorry I haven't been doing too good lately, but I've been depressed. But my son just had a birthday, and I wanted to talk about him. His birthday is an easy day to remember because it was December the 7th. And December the 7th in 1941, uh, we were friends with Japan, and they blew the hell out of us. So be careful with your friends. Anyway, back to my son. When I was in a hostile domestic relationship with my husband, uh, he thought it was cool to beat everybody. And so one of my children got taken away from me. And so in my wise mind, I left this environment because my child was more important to me than this man. But the government said the man was more important. And if I did not have a stable relationship with this man, I could not have my child back. So I went back into this violent relationship. And I got pregnant. Um, he was the first child I ever had in a not charity hospital. He was born in Baptist Hospital in New Orleans. But during the pregnancy, he would kick me so hard it would make me cry. He was as strong as he could be. And every Thursday night, I would go to the wrestling matches. And he was born on Friday. I can always remember the day he was born because of the wrestling matches. When he was about 2 weeks old, we took him to the wrestling match. And he loved it. Only 2 weeks old. He was crazy about the wrestling match. I'm going, oh, I can't believe this. And when we would ride the bus, he always would make noises or try to talk at the pretty ladies. At an early age, he was a womanizer. What can I say? But anyway, uh, I remember that one day I was talking to him, and I asked him, I said, "What you crying about?" And he looked at me and he said, "What are you crying about? 2 months old." Oh, my baby can talk. I called my mother and she said, "Oh, he's just mimicking." Okay, that's fine. But he mimicked it a lot, you know? And we had a pet parakeet, and the parakeet would always come and sit on his belly. Bobby wasn't able to sit up yet, but the parakeet would sit on his belly and play with him. And he took so much enjoyment with this bird. This is another thing that was amazing about him. When he was 7 months old, he started walking. I mean, this boy was very smart, very, very smart, very, very strong. And any time that I wanted him to go to sleep at night, I had to put him in a stroller and take him for a walk, because if I did not take him for the walk, he would not go to sleep. He had to have action all the time. He was very busy-minded. Anyway, I finally left that domestic violence relationship and I moved on. And I remarried. And when I remarried, my new husband would adopt my children. And Bobby hated the name Bobby. We had named him Haralabos Demetrius. He didn't like that either. But his daddy named him that. That's a big Greek name. And Anyway, so Bobby was very excited because he would get to change his name. So he changed his name to Robert. What's short for Robert? Bobby. So my Robert, he stayed Bobby. He's Bobby till today. But he finally, in his group of peers, he's changed his name to Rob. And I need to remember that he's a Rob now. He'll always be my Bobby. But I need to respect his choice. He, he named all his baby boys Robert. Robert Logan Robert, or Robert Logan, I can't remember. And Anthony Robert, and Blake Robert, and Scout. I can't remember the other baby's name. Shame on me. It's a beautiful name. It's a hard name for me. Xavier, Robert Xavier. Beautiful, beautiful name. Anyway, but if we go back into his past of growing up, he was a lover of money. So when I was potty training him, I had 1 quarter that I kept giving him over and over again because he wanted this money. And he liked action figures too. But what happened when he grew up, I mean, the story can go on forever. I'm just so excited, that the thought that he is my son is so great. But he grew up and he became a varsity football player. Are we surprised? No. I was kind of disappointed when he started football because when we were living in Fort Worth, he played in the band and he always was first chair. I remember one time I had him in a school that my new husband didn't like because I'm not going to say why. But this school was amazing because they would have the kids lay on the floor and learn how to play the violin, and they had fencing and everything. And Bobby really liked this school, but Daddy didn't. So we had to move on into public school. But life is good. And when we moved back to Katy, we didn't move back to Katy, Texas, but when we moved to Katy, Texas, he gave up the band and went into football. And he was really good at that. As a father, he keeps his children involved in sports. He makes good money, so that little quarter I gave him was what do you say? Oh, I can't read. I'm not doing too good here. But anyway, he liked money. He worked hard. He went straight into the Marine Corps after high school. And he did very good in the Marine Corps. And he developed this program, and I can't remember the name of that either. But he got a meritorial promotion to sergeant, and they gave him $13,000. And he went to the Pentagon, and they signed his promotion. It's not as a rubber stamp, it's original signature. So that's a lot to be proud of. So when I was choosing his birthday song, instead of finding a funny one or one said, "Happy birthday to you," I stopped and I thought, Bobby was wounded in the war in Afghanistan, and he is a veteran. And he fought for me and for you. He needs more than a birthday song. So I chose the song to send to him, Hallelujah, the veterans version. If you haven't heard it, you really need to Google it and listen to it. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about my son. He was my second born son. And I've talked about my firstborn son before, and I'll probably talk about him later. But this one right here is to say, hey, Rob, I love you. And have a very, very, very blessed many birthdays. You are a super great man. Love you. And stay tuned for more stories about my children, my life, and my family, or things I just get into. There's not much telling what I'm going to do. I'm full of life. At the moment, I'm full of depression, but hey, I don't take meds. I'll get over it. So y'all just bear with me. Love you much. Stay tuned.